Okay, so I'm making a video that roughly says my realization of the universe. First of all, I am an atheist, so I don't believe in God. But most people on Earth, who are humans, do believe in God. So, to accommodate the universe in certain ways that might accommodate a God, I was thinking, the heavier elements that we're made up of, like carbon that makes up our DNA, or carbon-based life forms, or the calcium in our bones, created inside exploding stars or supernovas. You could say there's some sort of being from another dimension that we can't see, obviously, but if it's influencing and experimenting these stars to see what kinds of heavier elements it could create that might, sustain life, theoretically there could be some sort of God that was experimenting with different kinds of stars in a different dimension by influencing them gravitationally or, electromagnetically, something like that. Some sort of magnetic field or gravitational pull. It could easily influence the mass of the star, and it could influence how the star creates things inside of it, and the creation of the star. But then if you had this God that was creating these elements and somehow managed to find a small place that's not violent, there's not a lot of things going on in the universe, it's relatively calm, in between many other galaxies at the edge of a tiny little galaxy, and put a teeny tiny little pebble, a grain of sand, and then you put these carbon-based life forms with calcium in their bones and whatnot, and then they evolve, they become more complex rather than just single-celled organisms. If there was a God that intentionally created us like that, you have to consider how insignificant we are to the rest of the universe. We are a microscopic, hair-sized, carbon-based creature on a grain of sand that is almost invisible compared to the rest of the universe. And we are on a very small galaxy, at the edge, very small edge, like the corner of the galaxy, of our Milky Way. We're at the corner. But we're just tiny relative to everything else. If there was a God that created us, it wouldn't be concerned about what's going on here as much as other stars that could completely disintegrate Earth by blowing up several million miles away, or trillion miles away, known as light years, 6 trillion miles. But, so, if there was a God, I think it would probably be preoccupied with what's going on in the rest of the universe than what's going on in a tiny grain of sand.